Welcome back to The Clueless Father. Thanks for watching. What we're going to talk about in this segment is baby's first 60 days. You're just going to have had the baby and you're going to be coming back from the hospital. So let's get right into it and let's start about what's going to happen when you arrive home. The first thing that's going to happen when you arrive home is that you should give your baby an orientation to the house. Just take them around like you would with the person who's staying over at your place and just tell them where the things are. The next thing that you're going to need to know is that baby's probably going to be in the house for 40 days. In some places in the world, they call this the quarantena, which means the 40-day quarantine. And this is because baby is still pretty fragile in terms of all the white blood cells and the systems that repel the bad things and the germs in the world. So the pediatrician likes for the baby to stay in the house. If you have a question on this, talk to your pediatrician. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't necessary. Now, the pediatrician in between the 40 days is going to need you to bring the baby to them because they're going to have to start their vaccinations. These are the shots that they get that make them cry a lot, but which help protect them from diseases in the future. All right, once you see your pediatrician, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to take the height, and then they're going to take the weight, just to see how much your baby has grown since you've last been there, and how big exactly they are. Then you're going to go into the pediatrician's office, and he's going to show you on a maximum minimum scale where your baby is in terms of the projected growth of your baby. And these are just averages, so they can change. Next thing is your pediatrician is going to start checking them out physically. Now, I'm not a pediatrician, but I do know from what he's told me that he's checking neurological response and muscle response, and to make sure that, you know, the skull is forming correctly, and they're just checking to make sure the lungs are good, the heart is good, the ears are good, the nose is good, the mouth is good, and all that. It's like a miniature checkup like the ones you get, just for your baby instead. The next thing that's going to happen is really the rough part. And actually, our pediatrician does something very smart, which he has the nurse do it so that the baby is not associating the pain with the pediatrician's face, because otherwise he's told me that the babies cry every time they'll see the pediatrician. So basically he dumps it on the nurse, which is a good thing in a certain way. But this is the rough part because, man, when you hear your baby crying, it's just like, just heart-wrenching. The nurse is going to obviously do the thing where she cleans off the arm with the alcohol swab, and then she's going to inject the baby with the first vaccination. The ones that are in the butt are considerably easier. Actually, our daughter didn't cry at all. But in the arm, man, they are screaming for a bit, and then it just takes a few minutes for you and mom to calm the baby down, but they do calm. So just know that you're going to have 2 or 3 visits to the pediatrician for vaccinations. Talk to them to schedule them. The pediatricians, not your baby. The other thing you're going to want to be able to get set up in the house right away is an alternate food supply, just in case mom can't breastfeed for a period or at all for some reason. So I've already shown how you can make up barley. There are formulas that the pediatrician may recommend, but either way, just make sure that it's ready. The other thing that you want to remember about arriving home is that it's going to be a really stressful time for the first 3 months. Pretty much any pediatrician in the world is going to tell you that, just because the baby's been in the womb for 9 months or more, and she or he is sort of getting used to the world, and the only way they really have to communicate right now is by crying. So it can be a very frustrating time for dads. So enjoy the moments of calm that there is. Don't go out and do something else when your baby's happy. Spend that time with them because it'll make the rest of it worth it. The last thing that I really want to tell you about in this sort of like arriving home segment is the pediatrician is there when you need them. Make sure you have their emergency phone number. They should give it to you. That's why they get paid, is to be there when you need them. Now, if there's something that you and mom don't know how to handle, call the pediatrician. You can call another family member if you want, but it's best just to call the doc. So remember, they'll probably have heard what you're going to complain about or be worried about a bazillion times. So if they don't seem stressed out like you, it's only because even though you think this is the only time that any baby in the world has cried nonstop is with you, it's happened before. So just relax and trust what they have to say. So thanks for watching The Clueless Father. I hope you've learned a few things about arriving home and the things that you might need to pay attention to, and I hope you'll stick around for more on The Clueless Father.